On October 15, 1529, the Siege of Vienna concludes, marking a significant turning point in European history as Habsburg forces successfully defend the city against the advancing Ottoman army. The Habsburg forces, led by Heinrich von Balthasar, prepare for the final confrontation with the Ottoman troops, displaying courage and a fierce determination to defend their homeland. Fatma Hatun, part of the Ottoman forces, rallies her fellow soldiers, inspiring them to fight bravely even as the siege approaches its climax. As the sun rises on the final day of the siege, both sides brace themselves for the inevitable showdown in the streets of Vienna. Johann Steiner, a young boy from Vienna, assists the defenders despite his youth, embodying the city's resilient spirit as he serves where he can. The Habsburg army strategizes under Heinrich von Balthasar's command, devising last-minute tactics to outmaneuver the Ottoman forces in the dense urban environment. Fatma Hatun leads a daring raid under the cover of darkness, aiming to catch the Habsburg defenders off guard and instill fear before the final assault. As dawn approaches, both armies prepare for what will be an epic battle, gathering strength and encouragement from their comrades and leaders. Heinrich von Balthasar and his advisors finalize their battle strategy, focusing on using the unique architecture of the city to their advantage. As the sun finally rises, both armies spot each other from afar, signaling the beginning of the end. Johann Steiner watches from the city walls, nervous yet proud to see the defenders prepare for battle, feeling a growing sense of duty to his city. In the heart of the Ottoman camp, Fatma Hatun motivates her troops with a fiery speech, rallying them for the challenges that lie ahead. Heinrich von Balthasar issues the final command, igniting a wave of enthusiasm and resolve among his troops. As the battle begins, chaos erupts. The clash of swords and the sounds of war fill the air, blending into a cacophony of conflict. The citizens of Vienna join the fight, assisting the defenders as the siege escalates, showcasing their solidarity and resilience. Fatma Hatun pushes forward, leading her unit into the thick of the combat, determined to prove her prowess and valor. Heinrich von Balthasar discovers a crucial tactical advantage, directing his forces to gain ground on the Ottoman left flank. As the battle rages on, Johann Steiner lends aid where he can, serving food and water to defenders, embodying the spirit of Vienna. Despite the fierce fighting, morale remains high among the defenders, with soldiers cheering each other on and pushing forward. Fatma Hatun rallies her troops, shouting commands and offering encouragement as they struggle against the Habsburg resistance. Heinrich von Balthasar pushes further to lead a counterattack, embodying the unyielding spirit of the Habsburg defenders. In the thick of battle, both sides begin to feel the strain, but the defenders of Vienna show no signs of backing down. As the battle drags on, the citizens of Vienna are increasingly involved, standing alongside soldiers and offering support in every way possible. Fatma Hatun witnesses the resolve of her soldiers wavering and strategizes to bolster their fighting spirit in this critical moment. With tension electrifying the air, Heinrich von Balthasar watches as the enemy begins to falter, capturing the moment for a timely counteroffensive. As the Ottoman forces begin to retreat, the defenders of Vienna rally behind Heinrich, launching a final charge to secure their victory. Finally, the remnants of the Ottoman forces are pushed back, marking a historic turning point and a significant victory for the Habsburg defenders of Vienna. Heinrich von Balthasar, now celebrated as a hero, reflects on the challenges faced and the sacrifices made during the siege, recognizing the importance of unity. As the first rays of sunlight pierce through the smoke of the battlefield, Heinrich von Balthasar surveys the devastation, resolute in his belief that victory is within reach. Fatma Hatun stands atop a makeshift platform, rallying her troops with fiery determination, her voice rising above the din as she calls for bravery in the face of adversity. Johann Steiner watches the crowd of defiant citizens, each picking up weapons and forming small bands to assist the Habsburg forces, their spirit invigorating his own resolve to fight for his city. With tension in the air, Heinrich orchestrates his troops' positioning, using the city's strategic alleys to set ambushes, a tactic that hopes to turn the tables on the large Ottoman forces. Fatma leads her elite warriors in a night raid, the creeping darkness serving as their ally, but whispers of fear begin to circulate among the soldiers as losses mount. As the fighting intensifies, Heinrich uses the architecture of Vienna to his advantage, positioning snipers on rooftops to pick off key Ottoman leaders, striking panic in their ranks. Meanwhile, in the heart of the Turkish camp, Fatma receives word of heavy casualties among her ranks, forcing her to adapt her strategy amidst growing unrest. Johann, motivated by the presence of the fighting citizens, pushes through the crowded streets, delivering messages between different groups of defenders, embodying the spirit of community and resistance. As day breaks, heavy artillery from Habsburg forces unleashes chaos upon the Ottoman camps, signaling a turning point in the battle as fear spreads among the attackers. Fatma, undeterred by the scattered chaos, instills a renewed purpose among her warriors, declaring that honor is at stake in their struggle against the invaders. Heinrich rallies his troops, recognizing the moment as crucial for a decisive push against the remaining Ottoman forces, embodying the fighting spirit of Vienna. The battle rages on, each side experiencing heavy losses, yet Johann manages to motivate his fellow citizens to charge forward, reinforcing the defenders with unexpected courage. The tide turns as Heinrich's strategies begin to take effect, with Ottoman troops faltering under sustained pressure and the determination of the Austrian defenders overwhelming them. Fatma, witnessing her soldiers waver, knows she must make a final stand to rally them, reminding them of their heritage and the reasons they are fighting. In a climactic moment, Johann leads a group of children and elders to safety in the city's stronghold, recognizing the need to protect the future of Vienna, even in chaos. Finally, as the sun rises higher, the Habsburg forces, fueled by desperation and unity, launch a final charge, pushing the Ottomans into disarray. Fatma realizes the battle is lost, her leadership wavering under the pressure of defeat, but she vows to lead a retreat to save her remaining warriors. The morning sun casts a golden hue over the battlefield as both sides take final positions, hearts pounding with uncertainty. Vienna's defenders, emboldened by previous victories, stand resolute while the Ottoman forces rally their spirits amidst lingering fear. Heinrich von Balthasar surveys the battlefield, his steely gaze intensifying as he sees the Ottoman formations. He confidently relays commands to his commanders, strategizing the lookout points for archers and scouts to gather crucial intel. Fatma Hatun stands before her troops, her commanding presence stealing the attention of her warriors. The sound of her voice resonates with passion as she inspires them to remember the pride and courage of their ancestors. Johann Steiner, ever resourceful, devises a plan to distribute food and water to the defenders, boosting morale and strength as he scurries through the streets, delivering supplies to weary soldiers and nervous citizens alike. As the horns sound, signaling the onset of battle, Heinrich leads his troops into the fray, shouting commands that echo through the chaos, while archers unleash their arrows, painting the sky with deadly streaks. Fatma leads a courageous attack, moving with agility through the melee, her sharp green eyes focused on the opposing fighters. She gives orders to her elite warriors while dodging incoming arrows. As fighting continues, injuries mount on both sides. Heinrich notices a crucial gap forming in the Ottoman lines and quickly orders his archers to exploit it, aiming at their leadership amidst the confusion. Fatma realizes her forces are faltering and regroups her warriors, urging them to push forward. She reassures them with tales of honor and courage from their ancestors, promising glory. Johann observes the chaos and decides it's time to act. He encourages fellow citizens to form a defense line, sharing words of bravery to initiate a surge against the Ottoman soldiers. The battle intensifies as the first light of day reveals the devastation, with both sides suffering significant losses. Heinrich notices some of his men showing signs of wavering resolve, but remains steadfast, urging them onward. As the sun rises higher, Heinrich signals the start of a decisive counterattack, shouting commands which resonate through the ranks like a battle cry, uniting his men in a final push. Fatma, witnessing the overwhelming Austrian surge, fights fiercely to keep her forces united. She reminds her warriors of their fierce legacy, even as fear grips many of them tightly. Fatma's strength and resolve start to wane as her warriors struggle against the momentum of the Habsburgs. She shouts for one last effort, imploring her soldiers to remember their purpose. Johann, embodying the spirit of Vienna, makes a courageous move to protect a group of young children from the chaos that surrounds them, further rallying citizens to fight back. As the clouds of war descend, both armies seem to stumble forward, taking heavy losses. However, Heinrich rallies his men one last time to launch a broader offensive into the Ottoman ranks. A climactic clash unfolds as the Habsburgs charge forth with renewed vigor, overwhelming Ottoman defenses. Fatma finds herself outnumbered as her lines begin to crumble under the extraordinary pressure. Realizing defeat is imminent, Fatma commands a strategic retreat, focusing on preserving the strength of her remaining forces while the Habsburgs drive them back relentlessly. On the fringes of the battlefield, Heinrich surveys the unfolding defeat of Ottoman forces and feels a surge of hope rushing through the ranks. Victory seems within grasp. A decisive charge of the Habsburgs finally leads to a breakthrough. They push the final remnants of the Ottoman forces out of the city, bringing the siege to an end. As the dust settles, the victorious Habsburg troops celebrate their hard-fought victory. Heinrich reflects on their successful defense of Vienna, grateful for the unity and bravery displayed. Fatma Hatun, now retreating, recognizes the significance of the defeat. She resolves to carry the lessons learned from this battle back to her people, vowing to fight another day. In the aftermath, Johann stands with other citizens, gazing at the walls of Vienna, knowing their collective efforts helped protect their home. He beams with pride for his contribution to the defense. Concluding the tale, the historical significance of the Siege of Vienna is palpable as it marks a crucial turning point in European history, halting the Ottoman expansion into Western Europe and leaving a lasting legacy of courage and resilience.